Frank, how wonderful it is to have the opportunity to talk to you today.
Thank you,
How
Vine.
are you holding up? How are things going with you?
Good. I mean, I've been doing a lot of interviews. Did 9 yesterday, 8 today,
Wow.
and you know what? It's that's okay with me. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. I mean, I'm proud of the documentary. The boys did a great job, and I'm really getting a lot of positive energy. So I feel pretty good about it.
Well, I want to say to you, I loved it. I found it
Oh,
really
thank you.
fascinating because you know what? I think I interviewed you like maybe 20 odd years ago, maybe at
Probably
one
could have.
point when you were in Toronto doing a
Are
show.
you in Canada?
I'm in Toronto.
Oh, absolutely. I did a bunch of movies there.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
staying. Yeah, staying at the Sutton.
The old Sutton place. We go
That's
way
right.
back because that's not there anymore, unfortunately.
Oh, it's not. Was that on Bloor?
It was close to Bloor. Yeah, just off on Bay Street.
Oh,
Just a
that
little
hotel's
south.
not there anymore?
No, everything's been changed
That was a
around.
great hotel.
It
That's
was a
where all
great.
the actors stayed. It was great.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Right across the street, there was a famous restaurant there that you guys used to always go to.
Not the Daily Planet. No.
No, I'm. You know what? I'm blanking right now. I'm embarrassed.
Bemelman's?
Sorry, no, not Bemelman's was on Bloor Street, but it'll come to me. It'll come to me. But what I
Oh,
wanted to, yeah, what I wanted to say first of all, before we talk about the doc, for somebody who is so used to being on stage, being out there, sharing your music,
mhm.
how has the pandemic, how it's put you in your place kind of? You haven't been able to go out and share your music.
Well, it's kind of it's a drag. Yes, I love playing out, but also I think being a songwriter and you know I'm used to having downtime where you got to work on your stuff or practice your music and stuff. So
Sure.
probably it's different. There's other people, that go out every night. They do this. They're probably suffering more than myself.
Yeah.
My brother's the same way. He's like, he can just dawdle around the house all day and he's happy as a clam. Me, I mean, I just go upstairs. I'll watch a movie. Then,
Yeah.
I'll come downstairs. I'll clean up the place. I'll check out. I'll play my music. And what I miss is I miss going out to like the lunches, like in the afternoon with the guys,
Right.
sitting there. Yeah, that's more. I mean, I think that part of this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The lockdown, I think, is ridiculous. I mean, people in this town, LA, spent so much money trying to do everything right, building these outdoor things,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just so sad to see them just. I mean,
I know.
going down the tubes. It's really a drag. It really bugs me a lot.
I hear you. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, at least you have the good weather. We're here in Canada. I mean, in Toronto, we're going into state of emergency again today. And so we can't do anything. Like
For,
again,
for
after
COVID or the weather?
no, the COVID. I mean, we're back into state of emergency. Yeah. So, we could have a whole conversation just about COVID, but I want to tell you, I was so entertained by this documentary. There were so
Oh,
many
thank you.
things about you that I learned that I thought I knew, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
And,
Myself as well. There's things I learned about myself I didn't know during this thing.
it's really interesting. So I want to ask you, because you are a producer on this, but how
Mhm.
did it all come about?
Well, I was approached. I wasn't looking to do a documentary at all. I mean, it didn't even enter my mind. And I met Derek Wayne Johnson, and I met him at a club, a bar called Pearls on Sunset. The guy goes, he just did a documentary at John Avildsen. I go, oh, wow. So I met him, I started chatting, I talked about him. We talked about John, talked about my brother. And then he said, I'm doing a documentary, 40 Years of Rocky. I go, really? Wow. So he showed me some of the stuff. I guess terrific. And I saw the other movie. And about a few weeks later, we gabbed a lot. And he says, you know what? We want to do a film documentary on you. I go, what? Me? He goes, yeah. I go, you sure? He goes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
From what I've heard from people I talk to and talking to you and everything, I think we got something pretty interesting. He says, you're not the most famous guy in the world, but you have interesting life. And I said, well, that's why the thing says the most famous unknown person in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's what it says under the billboard.
Yeah. It's
And
fascinating.
so I said, okay.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? And then as we go along, your early life, everything, like you started with your music so early, and then yeah, Your brother is Sylvester Stallone. I
Yeah,
mean, who doesn't know that name in the entire universe?
exactly,
You know?
exactly. And it was very interesting because then the first two people we got were Boss Rutan and Bruce Buffer, UFC.
Yeah,
And then after that, I said, I'm going to ask Arnold. I see him at the gym every day.
right.
I'm going to ask Sly. He goes, "You think he'll do it?" I go, "Probably not, but I'm going to ask him anyway." So I asked him. He said, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll do it." And he did. I think he's funny in it
He
personally.
is funny in
So
it.
he
He's
is
a
funny.
funny guy. He is a
He is.
funny guy. Yeah.
He's much more funny than people think.
Yeah.
And he did it. And I said, "Oh wow!" So he did it. So all the people in the movie are from me. People
Right.
I've known, my band members, like God rest his soul, Danny Aiello, who I love to
Yes.
death. I know. How about he's such a great, yeah, Frank's like a five-tool guy. Five-tool guy. No one talks like that. It's like Damon Runyon. And God rest my mother, who
I
passed in
know.
September.
Yeah.
She was great. She was almost 99 years old and
Are
sharp
you,
as,
are you kidding me? She was
yeah,
99 in that
yeah,
documentary?
yeah, 98 in the
No.
documentary.
Wow.
Sharp, still drove, worked out every day.
Yeah.
So she just passed in her sleep like she wanted to go.
Amazing, Frank.
And
Wow.
yeah, and so I'm happy. I lost five people in this movie that were very close to me, but such is life. But at
Yeah,
least they're immortalized on film,
absolutely.
talking about their friend.
Yeah. And
So
I want to ask you because as I'm watching this, and it's so funny because as I'm watching along, like I go, well, why, if you, well, I guess the first thing I want to ask, I suppose there's so much to talk about, but at the end of the day, like, did you really feel that you got a bum rap? Because you honestly kept going, anybody else could have just like went, ugh, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to disappear, whatever. But each time I'm watching this, with each scene, each phase as you go along in your life, I feel like, wow, he did kind of get a bum rap, but he got through it, you know?
yeah, well, I kept going because I really had nowhere to go. I mean, I had invested so much time of my life into this that I really, I never learned anything else. I mean, this is what I did. So it's like I was not a good student. I barely got out of high school. I actually didn't get out of high school. I had to go back at 23 to get a GED.
Yeah.
And so I really had nothing to fall back on. So in other words, I really was qualified on paper for nothing. Cleaning poop out in the zoo for the lion cage. I mean, that would probably been my job. But I
Right.
mean, so I didn't. But the thing is, I loved what I did, and I just had this dream. I had this dream that I wanted to see through.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had my successes, and I've had many downs, but I never really got to do the 50,000 seaters. I didn't get to do the Bruce Springsteen Bon Jovi thing.
Yeah.
I mean, everything just always went bad. It's like went far from over. We were on tour with Little River Band, and we were doing great.
Yeah.
Oh well, we have to cancel the tour. I go, why? Well, the record company. Oh, yeah, man. And a lot of it. Listen, my managers were my dear friends, but I just don't think they were up for the task when it came to another level.
Right.
Now, if I would have had Irving Azoff as a manager or someone like that, or Miles Copeland, and that's all they wait for is an opening to
Right.
happen, and they know how to monopolize on it. They didn't. So I would have normally having Grammy and Golden Globe nominations and everything, like a 3-album deal. I didn't get that. So I just said, so I always had to reinvent myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like right after Staying Alive came out, all of a sudden hip hop came in or rap or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm dead to that. I don't know what the hell this stuff is. You know what I mean? Because I'm a singer songwriter type, Harry Nilsson, Randy Newman, Joni Mitchell. That's where I'm at, but to sit there with the synthesizer and go and sample, hello, so I was lost. So that's when I started doing the big band albums.
Yeah. Which is great.
Thank you. So I
Love
started
that
doing,
music. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I still do. I still do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when see, I had no idea what the documentary was going to be like. I was very moved by what people said to me, and I'm very moved by the reaction I'm getting from all the people that interview me. It makes you feel good, makes you feel, because when you get beat up a lot, by
Yeah.
the press and stuff. Sometimes it's like, oh God, it's like I dread doing this. It's like,
No,
no, not this, but I mean other things. Like I've had to do movies because I needed money. I
of
needed to
course.
live. And I said, oh, Christ, I don't want to do this movie. Or, I've done a lot of bad movies. I mean, I've done 77 movies. I've done some good ones, but I've done a lot of like junky crap movies. And
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit. What are
So
you gonna
what?
do?
You
So
know
what?
what? They become cult classics though. Like they
Yeah,
really do. People
I
follow
did
them.
one that was so bad. I played it for my brother. I shot it up in where is it? Calgary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
With Sonny Landham and Charlie Napier, who was in Rambo, and
Yes.
a bunch of guys. And I shot it up in Calgary. And I know it was all cowboys up there. So I was up there, right? And I said, this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. It is so bad that it's actually brilliant. It's art. It's like Ed Wood. He didn't go out to make a bad movie. That was his personal best.
Yeah.
So I went back to Sly. I said, Sly, man, you got to watch this thing. It's called Billy Lone Bear. I wish I could find out. It was so bad it was never released. I'm sitting there. We're sitting there like this, absolutely convulsing on the ground in a fetal position, laughing because it's so bad. And these guys go, and these were like guys that thought they were like serious filmmakers.
Right.
And it's just so horrible in Calgary. These guys going, now listen, you better stand up there, before it was like, oh God. And they're supposed to be like Italian gangsters. It was so bad.
I love it.
I mean, but they do become cult classics. Like I did a movie called Terror in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all of a sudden I'm getting people go, hey man, you know what? I just want to tell you, man, Terror in Beverly Hills. I said, so not Barfly or Tombstone, Terror in Beverly Hills. That's it. Not Fred Claus. Okay, so I mean, so everyone has their place where they go. But I've done some bad ones, man. And that's why I called it Stallone Big Frank. That is because when I do these crappy old movies like this,
Yeah.
You get the box like for the VHS, and across the top, Stallone, and this big under it, Frank, starring in. Everything was like death or revenge, rollerblade 7. Everything was like these barbaric names, but Stallone up top. So I figured, so I'm kind of making a goof on myself.
Right. Right. Yeah. I love it. I wanted to ask you, Frank, after this was all finished and completed, did your brother sit down and really just watch it and then not apologize to you, but did he ever really know how you were feeling? Did he learn something new from watching this about how you felt kind of being in his shadow, even though you weren't really in his shadow as far as I'm concerned?
I never felt I was in the shadow.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
Okay, here's the deal. So I said, okay, well, now we got to show it to Sly.
Right.
Because he has to like it. I mean, that would be dreadful if he hated it and I talked him into being in it. Like, God, you know what I'm going to do. So we went up to the house, and it was his wife, Jennifer, who's in the documentary.
Yes. Yeah.
And his 3 daughters, myself, and the director, and the co-producer, Chris. And he has a theater in his house, because that's what they do. When you're famous, you can't go out, you build a movie theater. So you don't have to go. I would. So
yeah, I would too.
Yeah. So he does a thing, and all of a sudden we're watching it, and it's going on. And I'm sitting in the back. He's up front with Derek, the director, sitting next to each other. Okay. Oh, please. And all of a sudden they're laughing. The girls are laughing. They're giggling at the right places.
Yeah.
Not like in serious, but at the right places. They're giggling. Yeah. And all of a sudden I see my brother. I know him so well. Sitting there, he's going. I'm here, and I go, okay, it's good. We're on it right. Because remember, he looks at it through a director's head.
Right.
He's the director, Sly, and he's looking at content. Oh, I said, oh, yes. So what happened? What he was doing was just commenting on certain things. You go, Derek, you could move that over there. At the end, he goes, yeah, it's great, man. I go, oh, thank God.
That's right.
and
That's
all
great.
the girls applauded. And I said, "This is great," because that would have been oh man,
Yeah.
can you imagine?
Yeah. No, I'm glad
Hey,
because
Hey, Sly, what do you think of Frank's movie? I'm just pissed off at you, piece of crap. You know what I mean? So I was really happy about that. But
I
no,
can't,
I think him saying, which he'd never said before,
yeah.
I think Frank is just as talented, everywhere as talented as I am in doing what I try to do.
And what you do, it's completely different.
That was your answer right there. I
Yeah.
think because he's not overly gushy, like we came from a different era, but I think that was his homage, I guess. I guess his thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I listen, I've interviewed him many, many times over the years. I remember back when like Tango and Cash, and like I've been
Oh
doing
yeah,
it for a long time,
yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, he is a really nice guy. And I think
He's
that
funny.
you have a very good relationship with him, which is so great to see because a lot of siblings don't who have
No,
famous, other
yeah.
famous siblings. I think it's great that you have such a good relationship with him and his family.
Bonnie, we've had our tiffs, we've had our times we didn't talk to each other.
Yeah.
And I hate that, because life is so fleeting, especially when you get older. Life
Right.
is so fleeting. I mean, every time I get a phone call, I cringe. It's like, oh Christ, who died this week?
Tell me
You know what
about
I
it.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you're young, you don't have any sense of mortality, and you're, just a little more involved with your own self. So
Yeah.
when you get older, it's just like, and the greatest thing for me in the movie, which I don't know if I said, but what I really wanted to do, I said, you got to interview my first band from 1965,
That's so
because
fun. Yeah.
it didn't make any difference. Because if you're interviewing me now, what got me here now is the past, and as we move on in increments, right? I
Yeah.
started. You have to start somewhere, and that's where my musical career really started.
I
And it
love
was
that.
so nice.
And I had no idea that John Oates was in your in
Yeah, he
Valentine.
was.
I
Yeah,
mean, you could have been Stallone and Oates.
that's right. It could have been. That's right. Yeah, Stall Oates or something.
Stallone, I love it. I love it.
Or one Oates. Own Oates. But
And
and John was a lovely guy, and he
yeah.
still is a lovely person.
Oh
It was
yeah.
very nice of him to do that.
Yeah.
They were on tour, and his manager Jonathan Wolfson put it together, because I did Daryl's show live at Daryl's house.
Yeah.
It was great. So I've known them a long, long, long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And,
And I think the thing that impresses me the most about you is that you work out with Schwarzenegger. I mean, come on.
come on. Yeah, I do. Frank, wake the pen. Oh God, I'm stuck this stupid thing.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I know I should put that on. So, but anyway, I mean, Arnold, I've known, we both have the same birthday, July 30th.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
yeah, we've known each other a long time. And I asked him, I said, "Oh, listen, I'm doing it." And he didn't, yeah, no problem. Because
Yeah.
he's seen me play already. He's seen
Yeah.
me perform. So, and
Great.
it's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
Arnold,
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today, Frank. It's been wonderful having the opportunity to
Oh,
talk to you.
Bonnie,
And,
thank you.
you know,
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy you enjoyed the movie. And tell everyone in Toronto, I really miss Toronto. I did like 4 movies up there.
Yeah.
I loved it. I had a great time. And, and of course, people don't really realize they have one of the largest Italian communities in the
yes, we
country.
do. Yeah.
Huge. I mean, huge, like Italian speaking Italians.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. I mean, we have I love going to the Italian community and just for dinner or whatever, walking around. And when you mentioned Danny Aiello, because he shot a movie here a few years ago, just before he passed, and I got to interview him just months before he passed away, and which made me so sad. And then so when I saw him in your documentary, I was like, just to
He
see.
was a great guy,
Yeah.
wasn't he? He was so happy. He loved being in show business. He loved, Frank, I did this movie, and this crazy guy. We did Hudson Hawk together, and he was a great raconteur. He was a great storyteller. He was full of life. He loved his family and his kids. He was a great guy, man. I really, I'm so happy I was able to get him. And Joe Mantegna is another wonderful person. But I really miss Toronto. I used to love going there, and also I love Greek food. You got a huge Greek community there.
Danforth.
So
Yep.
Is it still the same, or would I be disappointed?
No, you would not be disappointed. But I'll tell you something. Once the borders are open and you can come back here, we'll go for dinner together and we'll continue
I
our
will, because I
conversation.
might move back there the way the crap's going on here. I might end
Well,
up being a Canadian citizen, eh?
You're always welcome. I trust me, I have a long line of Americans who've asked me if they can move in with me. So I just hope that things get better come this this
Me
new
too.
regime, and
I hope so too.
let's hope that we have good things.
All right, love. Thank
Nice
you
to
so
meet
much,
you.
Bonnie.
Yeah,
God
thank
bless
you, Frank. Have a great day. Thanks for your time today. Appreciate it. It was a lot
Thank
of
you,
fun.
hon.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.